All right.
All right,
Cooking with fire.
I will come look for you,
All
Odette.
right, we are live.
Yeah, and Odette,
Get
if you see good questions that I miss, especially tonight, go ahead and grab them. All right.
We are
Okay.
live, getting started here, waiting for y'all to join and ready to let you guys know about what's the latest and the greatest and to answer your immigration questions.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and share some I'm going to go ahead and share.
And okay, Odette, I think you're here. We got you, right?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna let this count out for 1 minute so that people can start to come in, and then we're gonna get it started. All right. And you are going to get the other stuff going on, the other platforms over there. We got Facebook Live. All right,
And the
that's
TikTok
1 minute.
join.
We are ready to roll. How's everyone doing out there? Welcome to our Wednesday night broadcast. I call it a broadcast. That's kind of showing my age a little bit, but that's okay. That's all right.
It is a broadcast.
Welcome,
sure.
everybody, to Facebook Live. We are the law firm Gardner and Mendoza. My name is John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radla Mendoza, and we have been doing immigration law for over 26 years now, going on 27. And we come to you every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 8:45. Sometimes it goes longer, depending on, how the vibe is going. But it's scheduled from 8 to 8:45. We come to you every Wednesday to bring you immigration updates. And also, we like to answer your questions. I know you all have a lot of questions. So if you have a question, get it posted in Facebook and we will get to it. I also want to say hi to everybody over here on TikTok, who we also are broadcasting with live. And that's where really a lot of the questions come. So you folks over here on TikTok as well, get your questions posted up and we will get to them. We're going to go in the order they come in. So try not to, just blast your question over and over again. That just slows everything down. So if you get it in there, the sooner you get in, the sooner you get out, just like immigration
First in,
cases,
first
right?
out.
And we have a
Yeah.
special with us most Wednesday nights now, Odette Batchelor, who is retired senior USCIS immigration officer. And it's really great to have you, Odette. Odette is a really wonderful addition because she brings a very unique perspective that you're not going to find anywhere else. She was adjudicating cases just like yours for many, many years. And so she knows what they're looking for. She knows what they consider to be the red flags, how they're reading people's testimony, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a golden opportunity for you if you have questions to get them in. So, Odette, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome again.
Welcome, welcome,
I don't
welcome.
even say, we shouldn't even say special guest. She's just our guest now.
Yeah,
She's like,
I
it's kind of
know,
like,
but she's special.
when someone comes to your house and they're your special guest and then ultimately they're just like family. So,
Yeah, yeah, but okay, we'll, we'll,
just
we'll,
a
we'll work on that
special guest.
because I
Fine.
still
Well,
want to point out the special position that she has.
okay. We'll just keep doing special guest.
Yeah, yeah, just, yeah, perpetually special. Okay, so we do have, I know we have some big stuff to talk about while people are joining us, getting their questions going. Um, I will readily admit that the conversation that these two are going to have forming you all tonight
We hope.
is outside of my expertise, and so I'll probably be learning a few things here as well. So you guys,
I don't know about that.
maybe not. We'll see.
That's funny.
Some
Okay.
folks here on TikTok are already
So,
checking in, saying
yeah.
hello. So
Hello, hello,
hello, hello,
welcome,
hello.
welcome, welcome. I think the one thing that we really want to emphasize today is that the new public charge policy is going into effect in about 3 weeks. So that is with USCIS. It's going into effect for any green card applications that are filed on or after September 18th of this year. So why is this such a big deal? We were talking, the three of us were talking before we got on, and I think that there's a little bit sometimes of just not just not being sure of what exactly is this public charge, right? What is the public charge rule? How does it apply to my green card application case, and why does it matter? So, Odette, would you like to share just from, your tens of thousands of interviews with applicants who are applying for green card applications, whether it's a marriage-based case, a U.S. citizen filing for a parent or a child under the age of 21, permanent resident, you name it, Odette has done that interview. But can you just shed some light on what is the big deal about the public charge and the affidavit of support? Not necessarily the new rule that's coming out, but just uh, giving us a little bit of a framework about what the public charge is.
Well, everyone has to file that affidavit of support when they file an adjustment application. And what we look for is to make sure that people don't become a burden onto the US. So there's certain documents you have to submit. You have to show you're financially able to take care of this person while they're here filing for adjustment. And I believe it's like the first 5 years. And so public charge, basically, they're looking to make sure that um, these documents are filed, that you're going to take care of them. They're not going to become on public assistance with food stamps or any type of welfare or anything like that. It doesn't include WIC. A lot of people always ask that, is WIC included? WIC is not included. So that's the big thing with public charge. That's basically what they're talking about.
Great.
But
And,
yeah,
and and you all, well, immigration officers, they are generally looking at the affidavit of support, right?
correct.
Okay, right. So when you're petitioning for someone, your family member, you have to submit an affidavit of support if you're applying for adjustment of status. And there, the officer is going to take a look at typically your most recent tax returns, W-2 and pay stub. And if you do not meet the threshold income requirements, then you can have a joint sponsor, right? And so, Odette, just in the years that you've worked with the affidavit of support, and I don't remember never having an affidavit of support. I've been doing immigration law for 28 years. I feel like there's always been an 864 for the longest time. Um, and if a petitioner has the affidavit of support and they meet the threshold income requirement, is that basically for you all? Well, for the immigration officers, an open and shut case for the affidavit of support? Is that a
Basically, yes. If they had everything they needed, they met the criteria, and they showed the financial support, it would be acceptable. Back in the day before 864s, they used to do the I-134, the old affidavit support, which they still use that for counselor processing things
yeah, right, payment.
for visitors. But the 864 then took over. But yes, it used to be that way.
Okay. And it is going to be that way until September 18th. So
Right.
after you file your green card application, if you file it on or after September 18th, then there's a different standard now. There's going to be a different standard. And number one, we were talking, Odette was saying that this is going to be a lot of documentation, and it's going to hold up cases, and it could potentially make things a little bit longer. Is that what you think there, Odette, with this?
I think the interviews are going to be a little bit longer. They're going to scrutinize a lot of the documents. They're going to ask more questions. There's a lot of factors now that they have to look into. Um, and then if it shows that you're not going to be able to meet it, regardless of that joint sponsor, they may have to ask for additional. They have a new procedure now for the public charge bond. So
Right. Oh, right. I've never had to do the public charge bond. I know that's something that's coming back. Can you tell us a little bit? Did you work with the public charge bond back in the day?
we didn't, no, we didn't have to.
Okay. So this is just as a quick mention because this is again still developing. We haven't had to do this, but apparently if the immigration officer issues a NOID, right, notice of intent to deny because they don't think you can fulfill the requirement of the public charge, they can essentially you can post a bond, right, a monetary bond, And if your family member does use, if your family member uses a means tested benefit, federal benefit, then you could lose that money. Now that's the way that I was reading it. We've never worked with this before. So that's going to be an interesting thing to
Yeah.
handle with the local office. And so
It's a really interesting concept.
yeah, and really the new standard, the new policy is like, look, the affidavit of support signed by the petitioner and the joint sponsor is just one of the things we're going to consider. This is not like, oh, you got this, we're checking the box, you got it, good to go, approve. It is one of the things that we are going to consider to determine whether you're going to become a public charge or whether your family member is going to be a public charge. So again, we go back to that totality of the circumstances, right? They look at your age, your health, your job history, your education, um, maybe even if any of your other family members that you support have they ever gone on any type of means tested so it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. This is all to say, everyone, that if you have your green card application and you're ready to file it, or you just don't know what to do and you're trying to file it and you need help with that, let us help you file this before this rule comes into effect on September 18th. Like, we can do that. That is what we do all day long. And Odette, what do you think is going to happen with a lot of the self-filed green card applications that require all of this evidence for the public charge? What I mean, just from your experience in dealing with uh, self-filing people in the community who are just filing their own cases, and you know what happens. What do you think is going to happen?
We find that people that are self-filers, especially with new rules coming into play, that they're going to miss a lot of things. They're going to miss
Yep.
filling out the form properly. They're going to miss supporting documents. Um, and then when it comes down to interview time, I think they're going to be unable to answer a lot of the questions.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
they're going to struggle, and that's going to lead to possibly the notice of intent to deny.
Right. And it's
So,
not like you have a lot of time to answer annoyed, a notice of intent to deny. So y'all need to lawyer up. I mean, I know it's been fun playing with the paperwork and all, but you need to
Yeah.
lawyer up. And we would love to help you with that process and get this done for you. But that is the major update we have. And it's coming. You still have time to file before the 18th. You got to do it.
Yeah, you definitely more than ever want to have everything done properly right from the get go. I mean, you don't have to be an immigration expert or even know anything about public charge to know that everywhere in the law, totality of the circumstances, once those become the standards, what that really means across the board in the law is discretion, a lot of discretion. And the more
mhm.
discretion there is, the more prepared you need to be because,
Absolutely. That's such a good point.
so it definitely is a good idea to be lawyered up, as you put it, more and more.
Yeah, that is a really good point.
Yeah.
Because this all really comes down to the officer's discretion, right? I
Right.
mean, really, when you're thinking about it,
Well, the more things you have that are just all thrown in there as possibilities and things that they can consider, yeah, then the discretion really goes up.
right? And you know, this kind of goes to that adjustment of status memo that came out on May 24th of 2026 that kind of like sent everything topsy turvy with adjustment of status. And we had a client recently who went to their interview with one of our attorneys, and the immigration officer asked the questions on that May 24th, 2026 memo. And then she went on to say, hey, you have all these negative factors, like you've overstayed, you had some work without authorization. Um, this person is a DACA, uh, was a DACA recipient, And there are those three things. He came in when he was 8 years old, but the officer said that these were negative factors, and just point blank asked him, "So tell me, what are your positive factors?" What is does the client even know what a positive factor is? Like, this is not anything that we prepare our client for during the interview, but this is a question that was posed to our client, and according to our attorney, he was definitely caught off guard. And she said, thank God she was there, right? Because she was able to ask him questions, guide him, ask him about his marriage to his spouse and his children and his parent, and was able to guide the client, because this officer was essentially saying, look, you've got these three negative things. I think these are bad, but I don't think these are good. Tell me what your positive factors are. So that was something that was completely new to us. We know what positive factors are. We know everything about our client's case when it comes to the immigration portion, but that's not something that we are now. Of course, we're going to prepare. We always try to prepare a client for, the interviewing officer who asks the questions that may or may not be on the test, right? So we know now, like it's like AI. We're just better now because we went to that interview and we got this feedback, and now on our in our training, it's ask the clients this during the interview preparation. Ask the clients, okay, if they're asked what are their positive factors, make sure that they can articulate all the great things that they've done in their community and for society. So the totality of the circumstances is just exactly that. It's discretion, and it's
And you're right, we are like AI. Remember, you're only going to get one shot. We're there all the time and always evolving and tweaking and changing to make our results better and better, because we're getting one case after another.
right. And you know who really has AI experience? Is Odette.
Odette.
So Odette has done way more cases than we have, right? But she interviewed. How many interviews did you typically have per day?
They can run anywhere from 10 to 15, depending on the type of application.
Whoa, 10 to 15. Okay, now I
Right,
did not
10.
have 10 to 15 interviews per day.
No.
No lawyer has 10 to 15 interviews per day, right?
Yeah,
So
even in my busiest court days, I don't know that I ever had 10 or 15
how do you do
cases
this?
in one day.
Anyway, that's a different question. But point is that we Odette knows what is going to work and what's not going to work, having been there for 42 years and knowing what to expect and all these different administrations that you've worked for. Okay, shall we ask a couple questions?
Yeah,
Answer a couple
but
questions.
before we answer the questions, there's a disclaimer that I want to give, and that is that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay, with that, the very first question up tonight was Nordia wants to know, I filed for my daughter, she's over 21, in June 2018. Her case, I haven't moved from the UCIS to the visa
Yeah,
cutoff.
to the visa, National Visa Center. Okay. So we have a person who has filed an I-130 petition for their daughter, and the daughter is over the age of 21,
Over the age
right?
of 21.
So
This was filed June 2018.
June 2018. So that was 8 years ago, pretty much. Is my math correct? Yes.
Mhm.
All right. So what we have to know, and well, what I have to say is that you have to check the visa bulletin, right? I'm sure you've received a receipt, because hopefully you would have told us that if you have not received a receipt. But that case is not going to move to the National Visa Center until a visa is about ready, right? Not when it's ready, but it's about ready. Maybe 8 months prior to, like, when they anticipate this visa is going to be available. So for the person asking the question, I can't read the name, but
Nordia.
yeah, Nordia, you have to take a look at the visa bulletin and see where you fall, right? So the September visa bulletin is out. It usually comes out at the end of, towards the end of the month, and it came out actually kind of late. So when we're looking at final action dates, so let's just assume that you are a you know, let's assume you're a permanent resident, because and where are you from too, right? So if you're a permanent resident and you petition for your unmarried daughter over the age of 21, they're processing cases that were filed August 22nd, 2019. So you're within that cutoff time, but not if you're from the Philippines or Mexico, right? So the processing the cutoff date for Mexico and the Philippines are Mexico February 2009 and Philippines 2013. So if you're from one of those countries, that means they haven't gotten to your number yet. And so your case is not going to go to the National Visa Center. And that's the same thing, same sort of analysis if you are a US citizen. Um, it's not much better if you're a US citizen, unfortunately. It's a little bit better, um, a little tiny bit better. But even so, if you are from Mexico or the Philippines, you still have several years to wait. So I hope hopefully that helps you understand why the case has not moved over to the National Visa Center. If you're within the cutoff periods, then yeah, you might want to give us a call so we can inquire about why your case hasn't been transferred. If your case in your visa is available according to the current visa bulletin. And I was looking at the September visa bulletin. So hopefully that helps. If you have no idea what the visa bulletin is, then you are very confused right now. There are just two parts of a case when we're filing an I-130 for families that fall under the preference categories. All right, yeah.
Hope that
If
helps,
I
Nordia. And if you still have questions and confusion and you want some help, give us a call, please.
or send us a message on TikTok.
Yep. Okay, let's grab another question here real quick. Dominic wants to know, are there any I-751 approvals lately? Gonna file mine next month.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, lots of them.
I mean, maybe this question goes to like our cases moving, right? So we've covered this, a few lives ago, and we'll just ask the immigration officer here, former immigration officer,
Yeah.
former senior USCIS immigration officer. Um, with all the things that are happening, things that the State Department bans on visas, and the things going on with like the fees for H-1Bs and this and that, and all the immigrant and the removal and people getting arrested and ICE and all this stuff, right? What is USCIS doing? I mean, is USCIS still open, still working when all the stuff?
USCIS is still working and still processing cases. So
So,
751s are still moving.
yep,
It
absolutely.
doesn't stop the work.
Dominic, you might want to picture it like there's all this immigration chaos that you're hearing about everywhere, but then USCIS is just sort of like in this little bubble where they're just sort of still doing what they've been doing. And yeah, the cases are absolutely, we did go over this a couple weeks ago because I think there's a misconception, understandably so, about what's happening, and people are thinking that, gosh, every case is probably now just completely getting torpedoed. That is absolutely not true.
Right. And you know, USCIS is consistently working when there are government shutdowns. Why does the USCIS still work, Odette?
We are a fee funded agency, so we are still working.
What that means is y'all pay big fees to to
Right.
USCIS, and therefore they're able to stay open. They don't need any funding when the government shuts down because they are funded themselves with the fees that you all pay.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of people don't know that. So if you're also going to hop on TikTok to say something negative to us, which happens almost every week, somebody does.
You know,
Now you can take that out of your. You can't use that one anymore. That's a waste of tax dollars because that's not true.
right. Anyway, so to answer your question, absolutely file your I-751. USCIS is processing U 751s, and by the way, you have to file it. It's not like you have a choice. You need to file
Yeah.
your 751. Whether you think the door is closed or not, if you don't file that 751, you're going to have serious problems. So, got to file it. And I'm glad that you are.
All right, Zara here had a question, but it was only part of it, so I don't know. Odette, maybe you can see the other part somewhere down the line. She said, I filed for my husband from Pakistan. He paused that.
Yeah, Pakistan's one of the countries where there is the pause.
So I don't know what the
So
rest
we're
of the question might be there.
so I mean, if we're talking about, did they file already?
Filed for my husband,
Let's
Okay.
yes.
see.
So if you filed the I-130 petition for your spouse, then you have to, again, the pauses, the bans, there's that's going to be an issue when you get to the interview. So when your husband goes through the whole process, when USCIS takes, 20 plus months to approve that I-130 petition, and then when USCIS transfers it to the National Visa Center, and that transfer for some reason takes, 60, 90 days to get that transfer, and then you upload all of your documents to the National Visa Center, and you complete your husband's, or he completes his DS 260. You have to do all that. So that's several months there. And then an interview is scheduled. If there's backlog, then you've got to wait for that. There's a lot to go through before you get to that interview. So I'm not sure what the actual question was,
It
but
wasn't a question, it was more of a comment, really.
yeah, well, good for you for filing it, because USCIS, as we just mentioned, is not closed, is never closed. Watch it close tomorrow because we jinxed it.
In other news, USCIS closes for the first time in 47 years.
All right.
Okay, the next question we had here is if you're all good for the interview when the changes come, are you going to be interviewed again?
Possibly, yes. We have seen second interviews. Odette, why would we've seen second interviews? I mean, I'll just keep it at that. Have you seen where in your extensive work history with USCIS, experience with USCIS, have you seen where an applicant goes in for an interview, they get interviewed, and then something changes, and then they get called in for an interview today? I mean, again, sorry.
Yes, I've done it myself several times. So it could be for anything. It could be missing documents. It could be further questions. It could be just something as simple as a signature. So yes,
It could be a fingerprint.
be anything.
Yeah, we've done that together. Just a fingerprint. Gay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I remember some of my cases with Odette.
Yeah, that's
Not all of them, but some of them. There are some that stick out for sure. We've got stories.
Yes.
yeah, all good ones, all good,
All
all happy ending,
pretty
good
good.
stories.
All
Yes.
pretty good
hmm Um,
and entertaining.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. We got our first travel question. We always get travel questions, and
It's
it's good.
good.
We
It's
love
good.
travel questions because it's important to answer them, and we know it's top of mind for a lot of people. Question is it still safe for a green card holder to travel outside of the U.S. and come back safely? No criminal record. So I'll
No
start.
criminal record.
So
Okay.
you're a green card holder, you have
I'm
no
gonna
criminal
sit back.
record, and you want to know if it's safe to travel outside of the U.S. and come back. Well, probably. The no criminal record is great. That's good. I'm glad you don't have a criminal record.
Yeah.
So you got rid of one of the concerns that you would have, but criminal record is not the only concern that could be a problem, right? What are some other things that could possibly cause trouble?
Admitting to marijuana use for some reason at the port of entry. Admitting to marijuana use and possession. I don't know. Where maybe you get your phone confiscated and there's like pictures of marijuana plants, large marijuana plants, and paraphernalia to weigh things. And I don't know, what do you put in bags? and that's in your camera roll for whatever reason, you can get questioned for that, and you may be found inadmissible marijuana for admitting to marijuana possession over 30 grams, right? So that's one. Again, this is probably not going to happen to most people. I have seen it happen though. I mean, I'm not pulling these facts out of thin air. I've actually seen this happen where someone coming in, they were denied entry because of all the pictures on their phone of marijuana. And this is before it was decriminalized pretty much in the United States. All right. So that's one of them. If you've stayed outside of the United
I was
States,
going to say, what if they're traveling and
yeah,
they're coming, they're going to go wherever they're headed and stay for 3 or 4 years and then come on back?
oh, not recommended unless you file for a reentry permit, and even then, not 3 or 4 years. But so yes, if you have, you know, they think that you've abandoned your green card, you are going to have a big problem coming in. You may even get arrested. I was reading a story about, actually, he's a fellow business immigration lawyer, and this thing happened to her mom. She was in India for 7 months. They they basically, anyway, it's crazy. Ultimately, she got arrested. She had to go through this thing. She's still detained right now. Permanent resident, mom, grandma, and she's, and that is really what the story is. I mean, there's no criminal record history, but so just be careful with any type of previous abandonment of your lawful permanent residency, and that is, you know, you left the United States, you went to another country, you stayed outside of the United States for more than a year, more than 6 months, more than a year, and maybe you worked, maybe you opened up a business in another country and you're coming back and they're going to say, hey, you abandoned your green card, we're going to arrest you and put you through removal proceedings. So that's an issue as well. um, if you have a pending I-751 and you have the receipt, and then you're no longer with your spouse, but the application shows that you're living together and there's discrepancy there, that could be an issue. John mentioned criminal charges and criminal convictions. If you've been charged with a crime but it was disposed of where like a deferred finding, but you think, okay, there's nothing here because it's done, it's expunged, it's gone, still could be a criminal conviction for immigration purposes when you're coming back in. So there's a lot there.
Yeah,
Dot.
that's a good
No,
point.
it's not Dot, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you said no criminal record. Make sure that's true, that you truly don't have any criminal record. Just because something was dismissed in court doesn't necessarily mean that it's not part of your criminal record.
Yes, and then the final thing, and again, well, two more things. One, like to say, skeletons in your lawful permanent resident closet, right?
Yeah.
If you, how did you get your green card? Odette, I'm sure you've seen where, people may have misrepresented and they got their green card in a way that they committed fraud, and if that was discovered, then they could put that person in removal proceedings, take that green card away.
Yeah, several times. Using a family member's green card coming in, because they lost theirs, or maybe theirs expired.
Right. Yeah. So I'm sure you've seen it. Actually, one of the cases that I believe we didn't work on it, but I think it was your denial, and it came to our office. But the applicant actually came into the United States, and this is something that people do, and I used to call it like a Filipino immigration problem, but maybe you've seen it in other cultures. But it's where you have the secret marriage, right? And your lawful permanent resident parents are petitioning for you, and then the night before you come to the United States, you secretly get married because your partner's just like, no, please don't go, but you're never going to come back, and they kind of, you guys both decide to get married, or you get strong armed in getting married. This particular person was it was discovered at their naturalization interview, and she got put into removal proceedings. Now there is a waiver to file there, but um, that's a possibility. I don't even know how that came up. Oh,
Yeah.
skeletons. Skeletons in your lawful permanent resident closet. And
Right.
that came up at the Nats interview, and this
So,
person
Dad,
got
if
put
you
in
have no
removal.
skeletons and you truly have no criminal record, and you're not going to be out for a really long time, and you're not using a relative's green card when you come back in, all of those types of things, that everything we just discussed, then yes, you should be able to travel outside the U.S. and come back safely. But you know, traveling is always a risky thing. So I think it's really, I mean, if you're really concerned about it, which I think you probably should be, it might be worth it just to consult with a professional just to make sure, unless you are absolutely 1,000% certain that there are no marijuana photos,
Yeah.
there's no marijuana in your system, none of those things, then you're probably good to go.
Yeah, and if you call us and you talk to me, I will probably persuade you to file for U.S. citizenship.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about this anymore if you are eligible. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Next
Okay.
question here.
Yeah,
Maybe you
like
have some insight on this one, Odette, because I'll say something in a minute, but go ahead and read it.
applied citizen January 2026, still waiting for AOR.
Wait a minute. Say that question again.
An oath ceremony, or
AOR.
what's AOR?
Probably oath. It's probably a mistype.
Okay. Still waiting for oath ceremony. That seems like a long time. Um, Interview?
So they had their interview in January, they said?
Sure.
Applied
It's
citizens
applied in January.
January 2026.
That's, I mean, in January 2026, and maybe you haven't had your interview yet. I mean, that's not unreasonable amount of time.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's only been 8
Let's
months.
see if
So
they added anything else here.
I think it's interview, because the oath ceremony would be even too soon for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I have to say, I am the chair of the ALA liaison committee to the Norfolk field office. So I sat in on it basically was all of the liaisons across the United States, um, talking about what was going on, right? And this is something that came up time and time again in all regions, and that is the long wait for an interview. And it seems like what I was gathering from this meeting today in this discussion is like a lot of local offices, a lot of field offices, there is a pause on interviews and swearing in ceremonies, oath swearing in ceremonies. And I I mean, someone says that they think that it's because of the midterms, and they don't want to swear all these people in to become US citizens because of the midterms. Now that would be quite interesting if that were the case. Any thoughts, Odette, on why these Nats interviews and oath ceremonies are seemingly being stalled out and taking a longer than normal time?
Um, it could be a lot of things. It could be the pause from the different countries. It could be the midterms, but I feel like this has happened in the past before. It could just be a bunch of lack in staff. I mean, that has happened many a times. They don't have the staffing to be able to process many as fast as they used to, because they just had recently last year a bunch of federal employees that were able to retire out, leave the service. So they're doing a lot more hiring. So it has paused a lot of applications, and they're still trying to, I believe, still trying to catch up.
Okay. All right. So for the person who asked that question, sorry, I can't read the name, but that just without all the things that Odette just mentioned, that just to me within processing times. It's not anything unusual to be waiting 8 months for an interview right now. If you tell me where you are, I'll look at the processing times for fun.
Okay, did my interview from January. They said I wouldn't need to file anything. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. Wait, was that the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the same person about the?
It was the same question.
Oh, I did my interview from January, and they said I wouldn't need. Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Need to update anything?
If you had an interview January 2026, yes, that's a little bit of a concern. Um, maybe we file a mandamus case for that. There is a way to you know to to get USCIS to take action on a case. It does require filing a lawsuit. So if you've been waiting since January of 2026 after your interview, I would say there's an issue there. What do you think, Odette?
It's either an issue
Or
or maybe there's additional things that might be needed and they haven't got around to sending out any documents. They can always do a service request to find out what's going on with their case. I
mm,
mean, that's
yeah,
the easiest and quickest thing they can do online on their own.
okay, service request.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the processing times for a naturalization case. I mean, 13 months, 11 months, 12. I mean, so they're longer than 8 months. But after an interview, the office should be adjudicating that within 120 days. Okay, all right.
Okay, we got some. Okay.
Okay, we're skipping over some of the questions because I don't think we're fear mongering.
Nah, I'm not even gonna address that. That's all right. Sorry, everyone. I'm going through some.
Cincinnati, 8 months. Nats, Detroit,
Oh,
12 months.
Nordia, who joined us the very first, said Jamaica, and she's a citizen. Remember, she was asking about
Jamaica citizen. Okay,
the
yeah, no,
the
you.
over
That's
21
yes.
daughter. I guess the daughter's in Jamaica, and Nordia is a citizen. So
Okay, 28, 20. When was that filed?
She said 2018.
20.
Thank you. Odette has a better memory. I see. 2018. So yeah, they're processing cases filed on or before January 22nd, 2020. Give us a call. We might be able to help you with that.
Yep.
For sure. That should have been transferred.
Yeah.
For sure.
Give us a call tomorrow, Nordia, and we'd be happy to
I mean, if it's
assist.
approved, like if that I-130 petition is approved.
Con applied for my spouse, I-130. My case is currently in NVC. My DQ March 6. No update yet.
March, April, May, June, July, August. I mean, it depends on where you are. So this person has gotten the I-130 petition approved. Great job. Case is at the National Visa Center. Waited all that time. The National Visa Center has sent them notification. Your case is DQ, documentarily qualified. We have everything we need in order to schedule that interview.
Mhm.
But it does take time depending on which embassy your spouse will be going to interview to schedule that interview sometimes. And especially if you one of the countries where there was a ban and a lot can go there could be a reason for that. That is a long time, but there could be a reason for that. Um, one thing, Odette, can you speak to like congressional liaison assistance?
How the process works, you mean?
Well, just I mean, I know they're talking about the State Department here, but yeah, how the process works and what a person's local congressperson may be able to do.
I mean, if they reached out to their congressional liaison for their city where they live at, they can actually do an inquiry with the National Visa Center for them and get an answer pretty quickly. from the State Department on what's going on with that case.
Right. So it might give you some peace of mind. I mean, a lot of times that it's going to come back still processing, still waiting for an interview, but at least you have an answer, and that might give you some peace of mind that
Yeah.
they are just waiting for an interview to become available. Because sometimes when you don't hear anything and maybe you're putting in a service, well, you can't do that with the National Visa Center. Um,
Well,
if
they can send an inquiry to the National Visa Center themselves. It's right on their receipt notice.
yeah,
It has the phone number and address, but you get a quicker response through congressional liaison.
okay, well there you have it, guys. Do a congressional lead if basically just Google who is my congressperson. It'll bring you there. Make sure you don't use a paid site to and don't pay for this information, right? It's probably going to be ending in a .gov, and you can fill out an online request, and immigration is one of the things that they help their constituents with.
Mhm.
All right, we have probably have time for one more. We did go over, but we did also start late, so.
Okay, we can grab one more here. If I'm 10 months out from my priority date, July 11th, 2020, should I reach out to a consultant?
Sure, if you want help with your if you want help with whatever you're filing, whether it's here in the United States for adjustment of status, if your family member is in some other status, or whether it's a consular processing case, we can help with either one. Absolutely, give us a
Yeah.
call, or you can send us a message through TikTok DM. Our phone number at the office is 757-464-9224. 757-464-9224. You can shoot us a text as well to that number, and one of our amazing team members will be getting back in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Immigration law all day, every day for 26 years. So we can absolutely help. And Odette, I guess we're out of time. So I'm going to do the sign off. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
It's
you.
always absolutely wonderful to have you here, and looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday. And I know
Wait,
most
we're not
people
going to
are.
be here. Aren't we going to be out of town?
Yeah, but I think maybe we can do a remote. We can do
John's always trying to do a remote live.
a remote live. We'll see.
Live from Swenson's, home of LeBron James.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
That's what we really should do. We should do a Facebook Live remote from Swenson's. We'll do it.
John is from Akron, Ohio, which is also where LeBron James is from. LeBron James went to the same high school that John's aunt and uncle went, and his
And dad.
uncle and dad. Did your dad go there?
Hmm.
And his uncle was the athletic director while LeBron was
Wow.
in basketball in high school. So there's like a lot there.
Yeah. And there's a burger joint called Swenson's that's famous in Akron, and we used to eat there all the time. And then I laughed because I watched a movie about LeBron, and like there are 3 different scenes in the movie where he's eating Swenson's in the car when he's like in middle school, so in high school. I loved it. I loved it.
Okay, so we
everyone.
may be here Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we should do it next
Okay,
Wednesday.
all right, let's see.
So Odette, just keep it clear for us, please. Okay.
Okay.
We'll let you know. And thanks again. You bring a great perspective, so much experience, so much wisdom, and it's not just valuable for all of our clients; it's valuable for us as well. So thank you.
Thank
right.
you.
Bye, guys. 2 thumbs
All right,
up.
2 thumbs up, everyone. We'll see you next week.